friends. Hope you're doing well. So, I woke up feeling a little groggy today, so you're gonna have to just deal with it, because I have been. But speaking of dealing with things, my life has been, I'm not gonna say a hot mess. I've just been incredibly busy. Like the last, I don't know, month. This year has started off with a real bang. I was excited to kind of have like a slow. Usually in January, February is like really slow, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna have like a good slow time. It's not what happened at all. January was pretty slow. It was nice. It was restorative to a degree. I have this problem. This video is gonna go all over the place. We got a lot of spaghetti up here that we need to untangle. But anyway, I have this problem where like I think everyone has this problem now. You just like default to like aimlessly scrolling because it's just like the path of least resistance. So I did hear a tip that I'm gonna try is to schedule your hobbies. And I don't know if this is just for like the neuro spicy people, but it's like, it's true. Like ever since, like I think about like what is self-care for me, to the degree that I understand what self-care is, and it's like playing Warhammer, playing hockey. It's like both of these things involve other people, and so in my head I was like, oh, it's because it involves other people, which there's probably some truth to that. Is that like leaving the enclosure to go interact with other humans is generally good. You build a sense of community and all that stuff. But also, it gets done because it involves other people. It has to be done on a schedule. So it's like when you play Warhammer, what's happening is either you're going to like an open play night where it's like Thursday at 6 o'clock at this place, show up, other people will also show up, and you'll get a game in. Or you're scheduling pickup games through Discord or Facebook groups or however. But again, it's like, when are you free? Like, I'm free on Saturday at noon. Let's meet at this store. So now you're, either way, the hobby is scheduled, and hockey works the same way. It's like you buy ice time, and it's like that's when it happens. And even if you're just going to the drop-in hockey, there's times for it, so you have to schedule that. And so I've been thinking about that with like, it's like, okay, well, it actually happens because it's on the schedule. Whereas like making YouTube videos is kind of just like, I want to do that. And so like, excuse me. Like today I knew my fiance, she normally doesn't work Fridays, but she's out at work because we went on vacation. And so it's like, okay, well, I'll make a video or two while she's gone. And it's like, that's scheduled, and now I'm doing it. She'll be home in like an hour or so. So this is my window to make a video. So that's something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, that I want to like get into and start scheduling like the hobbies, like making YouTube videos, because this is, yes, I make money from this, but like this channel, which is what I put more effort into, makes like $5 a month. So I definitely spend more money on stuff for the channel than it makes. So it's just funding the hobby a little bit. And so scheduling to make more videos, but at the same time, the life has been so busy lately. So January was slow. I made a lot of videos. It was great. February was, so the first week of February, this company, very large company, paid me a lot of money to go to Florida and take pictures for them. And I ended up I worked, I think it's 4 days, and every day was like 16-hour days. I ended up taking 28,000 photos, and they needed them all turned around within 2 weeks. So I sat my ass on the couch, and I watched 46 movies, and I edited 28,000 photos, and hated my life just a little bit. But then I got the paycheck, and I was happy again. So that scenario is about to repeat, but worse. At the end of this month, a different company is paying me to go to Denver to take pictures for them, but it's only for 3 days instead of 4, and the hours aren't 16 hours, so that's good. But before I leave, I have to drive to the panhandle of Nebraska, which, if you don't know your Nebraska geography, first of all, shame on you. You should know everything about your favorite YouTuber's home state, Nebraska. But I live in Omaha, which is like far on the eastern side, and where the Panhandle is far on the western side. And if you're not from this country, you might not realize that Nebraska is not the biggest state, but also very long and very boring, and someone is giving me an amount of money that's worth it to drive 7 hours to the Panhandle to take what's going to amount to about 20 pictures of a building, which is weird that they can't just get someone from Denver to drive the 3 hours, and instead it's cheaper to have me go 7 hours, stay in a hotel, and drive 7 hours back. But I digress. Money is money, and that's just jobs, you know. So, and then through the rest of the month, I'll have to go shoot a couple other clinics that are in other places. It's for like a health thing. I don't know. They're health buildings. I don't know much about it. But it's gonna give me a good amount of money, but it's work. And then the week before I leave, I have like 3 or 4 photo jobs, like bum, and they're event photo jobs. And then I have another conference here in Omaha to photograph next week. So this month, from now until, well, not now, let's say starting Sunday, I think until April 3rd is like this flurry of jobs. There's like 15 or 20 shoots, and I'm definitely gonna end up taking, I don't know, 40 or 50,000 photos, something like that, just something insane number. So it's about to get hairy again. But I did block off like the 2 weeks in April after that to do all the editing, and I do have some other shoots mixed in there for my production company. So suffice to say, just is, this is maybe not indicative of how the whole year is going to go, but right now things are going very well professionally. I'm very busy, which is great because it's a lot of money, and I'm trying to pay off my debt. And if things continue somewhat like this, I could potentially have all my debt paid off by the time I get married in October. So that would be amazing, because I've been trying to be a little more, and hitting the microphone, I'm trying to be a little more adult with my finances lately, because soon the finances will not just be my own, they will be ours. I'm pointing to an empty chair. You can't even see the chair. This is where my fiance sits. She sits over here. And so it's like, this is going to be our finances. And so I need to, I'll have a wife, and I'll have to take care of finances like a man and provide for the family. Or whatever. Just that kind of, that's that lizard brain in the background of like, man must protect. So, I've been trying to be more aware of that, he said, but I also bought a $2,000 lens, like, last night. But to be fair, I did run it by my fiance and explained why it was such a good lens and why it's going to be so valuable to me. And the short version is that it's a very long lens that can shoot in darkness very well, which is most of what I'm doing these days. So buying it now will give it to me before there's 2 conferences coming up, and there's like 4 other jobs in this next month. So it's like any one of those jobs really kind of pays for the lens. Just driving out to the Panhandle and back will pay for that lens. So it's felt like a good, worthwhile investment at the time. Anyway, yeah, so that's, and then also I went on a vacation for the first time in like 9 years. I think the last time I went on vacation was with my ex-girlfriend, who worked for a hotel chain, and she got us free hotel rooms, so we would go on vacation much more often. But now I like working, so I tend not to take vacations. Also, I haven't had money to pay for things, but soon that might be changing, especially if I have all my debt paid off. It's like if I have all my debt paid off, and instead of making credit card payments and stuff and being stupid with money, I've been trying to be a lot smarter with money this year, just because, for political reasons of like, oh, people voted for Trump because it's gonna help the economy. And it's like, yeah, no, I don't want to support that. And also, it feels just like it feels like the walls are closing in a little bit on everybody. And it's like, okay, well, the reason why is because convenience. We're spending so much money on Amazon and at Walmart because it's cheaper and it's easy and you just one-stop shopping and all that. But the money is starting to pool into just a few places, and those people are starting to throw their weight around politically, and I don't care for that. So, spending a little more money, shopping locally, not eating fast food, going to local restaurants instead, whenever possible, not buying from Amazon, which, like someone pointed out, like, yeah, I mean, it's easy to not go to Amazon because you can just go to like the local bookstore and get books. It's like, yes, but where do I go to get printer ink? And you go, Staples. And people are like, well, that's still a corporation. And you're like, yes, but the big dogs don't own it, so the money still pulls around a little more, and it's harder because think about it like this: if you had $200 billion and it only would cost you $200 million, so whatever percentage, that's 1%, something like that. I don't even think it's 1% of your total income to buy the presidency of the United States. That's chump change. That's a rounding error because with the president in your pocket, you could absolutely make your money back. Like, so who wouldn't do it? It's just smart business, regardless of your politics. It's just smart business. It's gross. It's morally inept, especially when you realize that the way you're making money is basically just stealing it from other people. But it just makes sense, and so it's like, it doesn't matter. Elon Musk might be a piece of shit and Jeff Bezos might be a piece of shit, but most business people in their position would do the same thing. So don't let people have billions of dollars. Stop supporting them. Stop going to their businesses. Like, that's the only weapon I have, is to not give them my money. Is it gonna make a big difference? I don't know, but if enough people do it, maybe, maybe at the very least, maybe it'll slow stuff down. The same way I go pick up garbage in parks with my dog because climate change sucks and I hate it, and I don't want the world to be on fire. But there's little I can do as a single person. But I can go clean stuff up. I can go set stuff right. I can go get the trash so the trash doesn't, the trash goes to the right place. It's a little thing, but it makes me feel better. And if nothing else, that's worth it on its own. Is that I feel like I'm doing something, even if I know it's not the most efficient route and it's not moving the needle a ton. I think the other thing, this got on a weird political tangent, but the thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is why things have gotten so off the rails is because of, and this feels designed on their part, the part of the evil capitalist people, is that there is so much going wrong at the same time. Everybody is scatterbrained and hopping from like this and then Social Security and Medicaid and insurance and climate change, and so you're hopping, and then you do protest here, protest there, protest there, and that's 3 protests for 4 different things, and it's more people need to just be like, this is my thing, I'm gonna line up behind it. That sucks, I agree, that over there sucks, but this is the thing that I'm on, and then that's your ride or die mission objective. If you have 10 moving targets and you're trying to shoot at all of them, that's not how you do anything. You find one thing that you can make a meaningful difference on and you go for that thing. And I think if more people had that sort of mentality, I think we would move more needles. So that's the end of the political rant. Yeah. And so now, the last bit of the brain spaghetti, we've been trying to get the enclosure. We make that joke a lot. I saw a meme one time about like when you think about, like, it's my apartment, like, it can be messy, I don't care, but then if you think about it, like, in terms that, like, you were sad if the enclosure is messy, and you're like, no shit, the tiger, like, that's the meme. And it's like, yeah. And so you start thinking about that of like, this is my enclosure, I am an animal, but I am also the zookeeper. So we acknowledge that our lease is due here in a little bit. So we're probably gonna stay here again, obviously, because why move? This is great. Yeah, and especially because our dipshit neighbors moved out, which is great. But hopefully we don't get new dipshits. That would be bad, but is what it is. We've been pretty lucky that the rest of our neighbors are like super quiet and chill, and they're great, except for down the way. Like there's only 4 people on our floor. There's an old guy, and he has a dog who has a death vendetta. Like our bear, our dog, and his dog Wesa have like a fucking jihad against each other. It's like they've just the whole time they've just been trying to kill each other. We don't know why. He's a friendly guy. He's cool, chill dude. But the dog likes us, me and fiance. Like the dog will come up and be like, "Oh, hello." But like if our dog's with us, they are trying to kill each other. And my dog has bit his dog several times, and he's super chill about it because he's super chill, but also like I'm not super chill because he never puts his dog on a fucking leash, which he does now since Bear has bit his dog a couple times. But to be fair, Bear has like 2 teeth, which now it's like 1 tooth left. So the bites aren't really doing much. And the dog is a big golden doodle. Bear is an 18-pound dachshund. Like, he's not doing a lot of damage to that dog. But it's like the flip, if your dog bites my dog, it's gonna be a lot less fun for all of us because it's gonna cost you some money, but like you're gonna go pay for the vet bill and then some. So, but anyway, I digress. But despite that, it's fine. Just take precautions. Carry the dog out so that way, they can't fight. Whatever. He does leash the dog outside. It's just in the building. I guess he's an old guy and the dog is very wants to go sprinting down the stairs. It's like, okay, yeah, if the dog would probably pull you down the stairs if you didn't do that, but treat your dog a little better. I don't know. I'm making excuses for him. Anyway, where was it going with that? Oh yeah, so we're gonna sign here again. Given that the housing prices, the interest rates right now are 6-7%, unless something happens there, probably not gonna buy a house. So we're gonna be here for probably a year, maybe 2. If the business keeps going the way it is, we'll raise rates, and maybe we'll have enough money that 7% interest isn't such a scary deal, and we'll have a solid ass down payment that we can just hit it with, and then it's not as bad. Maybe, who knows? Maybe YouTube channel will explode, and instead of making a couple $100 a month, I will make a couple $1,000 a month. And then it's like, okay, well, I could swing that 7%. It's not that bad. But also knowing full well that YouTube is not a guarantee in any sense of the word. Is people get demonetized all the time. Stuff happens. The algorithm goes against you. It just is what it is. You get tired of making the content. You stop having good ideas. You don't know. You never know. So we have kind of started to change the enclosure. And if you see, my desk used to be back there, and now I have a standing desk, which is right here. You can kind of see a little metal piece. That's the monitor. I got my Echo bike here. The Warhammer table's still there, which that might move. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna change. But it's okay, if you imagine we'll be here for 2-3 years. And it's okay, well, we have too much stuff, so we need to get rid of some stuff to free up some space and focus and think about it. The longest time we have this, there's a recliner behind me, and it's I love that recliner, but also I never sit in it. So it's an opportunity cost. Having held this chair that I don't sit in for the last 5 years, because one day maybe it'll go into a house. But it's that the chair was only $300 new, and even if and that was 10 years ago, even with inflation, it's $500. It's okay, I'm essentially paying, I'm giving up space. It's an opportunity cost. I am paying to store that chair in my dome style, where that could be something else. That could be more enriching to my life, or help me productively. That's not a word. Help me be more productive, with business or with YouTube creation. And who knows? It's okay, well, the chair is not giving me the joy. I like the chair. I like sitting in it when I can, but most of the time it just becomes a collection point for clothes and camera bags and stuff. It's not really getting sat in, so it's like, okay, if it's not really getting sat in, do you need? You have a couch. You like being on the floor. You've got a bed. You've got a really nice computer setup. Do you need the comfy chair? And it's like, at this time, probably not. Like, it'd be great to have that kind of a setup, but it is what it is. So get rid of that. We got rid of this big hutch thing. Get some bookcases so that my Warhammer stuff can like live in one spot. Would be great. And yeah, that's just like plan A. And then then from that, the real last thing is we gotta get wedding going. We're getting married at on Halloween at a restaurant we really like, and the restaurant's super excited. They've never had a wedding before. It's very small, so it will only fit like 50 people, which is A plus. So then we're gonna get married. We're gonna have dinner, and then we're gonna have an open reception, so people can kind of just drop in. And the open reception will be a costume party because we are getting married on Halloween. So she needs a dress. It's funny because I've been like steering most of the planning because I've photographed like, I don't know, probably 200 weddings at this point. So I've seen stuff, and I feel like I have a good bullshit radar for like shitty vendors, which is most of them. I mean, if you want my advice, don't hire any wedding vendors because they're all fucking shitheads. At least here they are. They're just, I don't know, they're just awful entitled people. I've worked with so many of them, and like, even the good ones are kind of shitheads. So, that was kind of the guiding force. It's like, just don't hire wedding vendors when possible. So, most of that, we need to find a DJ still. And we need to lock down flowers. And then she needs a fucking dress. I need a suit. We need to figure out rings. Which we have some leads on that. But, yeah, it's going pretty well. But our parents are just, I think because our parents like have in our head like, oh, a big traditional wedding, and like I'm like, I'll throw this shit together in like a weekend. Like, this is not complicated stuff. I don't need big this, big that, big whatever. Like, it's gonna be chill. That's the whole point. No stress. And it's still stressful. Like, I can't imagine if we were having like a real wedding with like 200-300 guests or whatever. Our parents would absolutely like, we gotta invite these, and I'm like, no, we're gonna get married here. It has a capacity of 60 people, and 12 of them are vendors, so you get 50, and these people are non-negotiables. So yeah, I don't really care if my cousin that I only ever see at Christmas that I don't talk to then is there or not. I don't give a shit, let alone their fucking kids, who I honestly don't know their fucking names. You could put a gun to my head, and you could line up I think I have like 4 cousins that I don't even know how many cousins I have that have kids. However many of those dumb fuckers, and they all have like 2 or 3 each. You can line them all up. I think I could probably name 2 of them. I could probably get 2 of the names of the 12 right. I think that's, and then if you tell me like which parents do they go to, I'd be like, I could maybe get 3 of them just because I know like they have 3 boys and they have a girl. So like, but I don't fucking know. I don't care. I don't see my cousins ever. Like, there is like a 12-year age gap between me and most of my cousins. I'm not close to any of them. And people are like, oh, it's family. I'm like, I'm not Facebook friends with them. I don't fucking care. Like, some people don't have that same familial relationship. They don't have that experience you had. So, anyway, yeah, that's it. Just a lot of spaghetti. And I'm sure there's more, but that's the long and short of it at the time. I have so much coming up here professionally, but also I have so much trash on my desk because I just keep finding, like, that is so loud. I just keep finding things that crinkle well, and I'm like, so it's like, it's just trash right now. And my fiance's like, get rid of it. I'm like, okay, I'll make videos, but I gotta do that. So that's this weekend, maybe. I don't know if she's gonna be home, then maybe not. I don't know, we'll see. I'll be like, babe, go to your room and shut up. Here's the Steam Deck. That feels mean, but like, I gotta make these videos so I can get rid of this trash to help keep the enclosure clean. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's it. That's all I got today. So, thank you for watching and listening to my fucking brain spaghetti. And I hope you're doing well. And if not, well, I hope that turns around for you real soon.